The Cranberries' final album, In the End, is a celebration and a testimony to the life and creative work of lead singer Dolores O'Riordan, along with her brothers in music, Noel, Mike, and Fergal.
Please welcome Noel Hogan and Fergal Lawler. So good to see you both.
Thank you.
And thank you for this beautiful album. We were lucky enough
we've had a chance to listen to it already.
Listen to the media version. Right. And you did an amazing job under what was just tragic circumstances. Last time I saw you was in 2013. You were here with Dolores performing. Right. Yeah. And I do remember she gave the most warm, beautiful, generous hugs, and she was so present.
Yeah.
And then the shocking news, over a year ago, a year and 3 months.
Yeah, January 15th last year. Yeah, and I guess the hardest part for us was we were getting ready to go in and record this album. We kind of all the demos had been done, so that the next phase is to actually get in and do it. So she was very, very excited about that, and like literally a day or two before speaking to her about the plans for the future. So to get that call on a Monday morning, it was the most unexpected thing. Like, there's never a good time, but I mean, we certainly didn't see it coming.
For tragic passing.
Yeah.
You knew you had these demos. Did you put them aside for a bit, or were you thinking about them and thinking, what could you do with this?
Yeah, it was kind of maybe about a month or so later, we kind of started listening through just to see. We didn't even realize how many songs were there. We kind of thought, okay, there might be enough for an EP maybe. So once we listened to them and realized how strong Dolores' vocal was and the lyrics were great and everything, we kind of said, you know, it might be worth finishing these. So we spoke to Dolores' mom and her brothers and stuff and said, you know, how would you feel if we continued the work? They were kind of relieved almost. You know, they said it'd be great because they knew that she was really looking forward to this album.
So tomorrow marks 1 year when you headed back into the studio, going through the process of grieving as you were. Was it cathartic to work on this music while grieving the loss of Dolores?
Yeah, like I guess at the time we didn't really realise it. Like, in many ways, when you think back, we were probably still in a bit of shock still, because only a couple of months had passed by. But it's really hard to imagine that time now without doing this, how you would have dealt with it. Because we probably all would have been in separate places, but at least we were together. There was the three of us and Stephen Street, who's produced most of our albums, and it gave us something to focus on for that time. And it's only when it all finished and you went home and you kind of started to kind of realise what it was you've just done, and you listened to the songs and the music, you know, it definitely helped in the process. It's still very early days. There's still days where you still can't believe it. But right now, I think looking back on it, it was the right move.
And I was reading Dolores would come in later in the afternoon, and you had to deal with that, knowing you would expect to see her and she wasn't there.
Yeah. It kind of came in waves, you know, because we were so focused on what we were doing. We kind of putting all our energy into that, and then Stephen would like solo Dolores' voice, maybe do some EQ or something like that, and you just hear her voice on its own with nothing else, and it just really hit you then. And then in the evening time again, you know, when Dolores would normally come in and say, okay lads, what have you done? Can I have a listen? And then she'd listen back to what we've done, and then we'd head off then and she'd work with Stephen and do her vocal parts. So every night it kind of was like, you know, a little bit of a downer.
It is a beautiful gift, let me just say, to the fans, world over, us included. You know, I was just saying, I was out and about Saturday, and there was this guy with a long beard and his motorcycle jacket, and he was cranking Linger. So it really does affect, you would see in, you know, all the concerts, the cross-section, the diverse audiences, you know, it spans generations. Your music is timeless, but you do want people to know that this is your 8th and final album for the Cranberries. So why did you decide to make that decision and have it be known at this point in time?
Yeah, like, we never even had we didn't sit down and have a full-time conversation about it. It was just a case of, you know, we realised we had this, and, you know, once we got our head around, let's go and do this, you know, we figured we'd get this done and just leave it be at that then. Like, we're musicians, we love playing and everything, and it's the one thing we do regret is that we can't tour this album, because that's what we've always done, record it, tour it. And really, like, playing these songs, we've only ever played them once to record them, and we've moved on to the next song and so on. So we are disappointed on that front that we don't get to do that. But without Dolores, it just seems like a kind of weird idea to us.
Which songs on there remind you the most of Dolores when you listen to them?
I think Lost and In the End, the second song and the very last one, for all three of us, they're the ones that kind of really hit you the most, as in emotionally.
Well, thank you. I know this is so difficult to talk about, but you really did such a beautiful job with this album, and it's a true tribute to the band as well as to Dolores and her family. If they're watching, good morning. We know she made Peterborough her home, as well as, of course, in Ireland. So thank you so much for doing this. I know it took a lot of strength. For more information, breakfasttelevision.ca, and you, of course, can get, in the end, the final album from the Cranberries next Friday. Thank you.
Thanks.
Let's head out to Nicole at the Live Eye. Nicole.
Hey, guys.